BMW E30, S52, B52 engine. Welcome back. The engine spent most of its summer at Vulcan Motorworks in the GTA. They did an incredible job on the assembly, and they were also gracious enough to let me come by and film quite a bit as well. Obviously, I couldn't be there every minute they were working on it. That would make absolutely zero sense for them and very little sense for me as well, but I think we captured a good idea of the quality of work that they do there. I think there are an endless supply of great mechanics out there. Brakes, engine oil, regular maintenance, no matter where you are in the world, you can probably find someone to do those jobs and do those jobs well. I think the issues start to come up when people have to problem solve. So Vulcan specializes in BMWs, and even more specifically, I think the older BMWs where parts are now NLA, processes that have worked for people in the past are now 30 years deep on forums, and the answers just aren't always there. And that was the case with this engine. A lot of it's modified now, from the oil pan up to the valve cover, and there needed to be solutions to problems that weren't necessarily right in front of us or in front of them. And every single time they came up with not just a solution, but I think the best solution. And I think that's where a lot of problems start to come up with cars. People, they run into an issue and they solve it in the cheapest, easiest way and not thinking about longevity. And I think they did the complete opposite of that, and I was very impressed the entire time. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm very happy with how the engine turned out. So if you're in Toronto or the GTA, have a BMW, need some work done, anything, regular maintenance, this type of stuff, anything you can think of, I would give them a call. Vulcan Motorworks. Now, to get into what they did to this S52. The engine was delivered to them, just the block, and then a bunch of parts they were responsible for assembly. So, from the bottom up, inside the oil pan, we have a drilled and wired oil pump nut. This is a fail point on the S52. It is no longer a fail point. We removed a tab to properly fit the Harper Fab oil pan. If you're not familiar with this, it raises the pan off the ground an additional inch over the E34 M50 pan, which is the ideal pan you want to run on this swap on an E30. It also increases the oil capacity by 2 liters, which is incredible. From there, they rebuilt the Vanos, resealed. It was wiggling everywhere. It is now rock solid. Timing cover installed with new hardware, as well as a zinc plated refurbished hardware. They did the timing from scratch. That was actually the main reason I brought them the engine. That wasn't something I was going to be capable of doing, and I really wanted a professional, and that's exactly what they did. The head was machined for a perfect fit on the block. Everything was resealed, of course: oil pan, rear main seal, head gasket, timing cover, gasket, valve cover, everything. They reassembled everything in the head and installed the larger Schrick cams with some adjustments needed against the Vanos. And that pretty much leaves us with what we're left with now to finish up the easier work, I would say. I'm gonna split the assembly of the engine into 2 different videos. Main reason being, I know I'm gonna run into an area where I need to order some parts. There's already one I need that is back orders, so to wait all that time, I'd rather just start making these videos and get it going. Third video, we'll put the engine onto the subframe and drop the E30 onto it. With that being said, let's get it started. These two bolts, when removed, allow you to access the exhaust side camshaft and make adjustments when necessary. I'm assuming at some point during the zinc plating process, the washers that are supposed to come installed on these were removed, fell off, whatever. Ordered 2 new ones with the washers installed from factory and torqued them down to 50 Newton meters. Now that the front of the engine is starting to come together, one thing I did forget to mention is that inside the timing cover, they actually tapped the block and did an S54 chain tensioner as opposed to an S52 one. This isn't a huge fail point, but it does really offer some serious preventative maintenance, which I'm very glad to have. Now we're gonna move on to the oil filter housing. For those of you watching from a more car perspective, this is a ceramic coating, a trim ceramic coating from Geon Quartz. It's used to restore and protect plastic trims, so I put it all over the valve cover. Basically, A, it's going to make it visually better looking, and then B, it's going to make it easier to clean down. These are going to get dirty, oil, whatever, so make it a lot easier to clean. And then of course I did the beauty cover that goes on the valve cover, oil cap, and the 2 plugs that go in the holes to mount the beauty cover. Now we can move on to our spark plugs and everything else to get the beauty cover on the S52. That's as far as I'm gonna take it in today's video. A lot of the major areas are complete and ready to go into the car, which is fantastic. Next video, ITBs on the intake side, all the different sensors, AC compressor, alternator, steering, basically anything that's left to get it ready to put into the car is gonna be done in that video. And if you're seeing this, if you're still watching this video, there's a good chance I've already done that stuff by the time this comes out. So it should be coming soon. It's really, really exciting to finally see this starting to come together. There's a bunch of work that still needs to get done and a bunch of money that still needs to get spent, but it is nice to finally see it.